entertainment, relationships, art, culture. If it's happening to or around us, let's talk about it. My name is Qamil, your host, and I'd like to welcome you to the So Dope Show. Welcome to the So Dope Show. Today is March 17th, aka St. Patrick's Day, aka Jamie St. Patrick's Day. I'm your host, and we are here live at Crafted Culture, the first Black-owned brewery in Columbus, Ohio. Yay! Still not old saying that, so I'm going to keep on saying it because it's still exciting. So today we're doing a special episode, very different from the previous ones where I had my little structure and a couple guests. This one is the first group chat episode. So if you ever wondered what kind of stuff girls talk about in the group chat, or if other people's group chats are like your group chats, this is going to be a glimpse into that. I have here an index card. And on this index card are various topics numbered from 1 to 12. I'm going to have my guests pick a number. I'm going to introduce them in a second. And then we're going to talk about that topic, or they may exempt themselves for PR reasons if the topic is a lot. Won't have that issue with this one at all. So, without further ado, okay, on my left is Jazmyne. Jazmyne is here pretty much on every episode, behind the scenes or with me. If you see me, you see her. But today she's coming to the table for the group chat. She's actually in my real group chat, or one of them. I have a few group chats. I'm going to have to do on the male-female group chat because that one is going to be dangerous. Okay. And then on my right is Miss Alicia Jamison-Henry, who is an educator and a woman of many talents and a very bright, brilliant mind. And that's all you need to know for today. All right. So who's going to pick first?
Definitely Alicia.
Oh.
A number from 1 to 12.
Let's go with 7.
Number 7. Did I put a number 7? Oh, okay. $1,000 first date. Some of these are memes.
I saw
that
was so dumb.
You know what I'm talking about? So there's a meme. I'm not even going. I didn't even.
Can I get the synopsis?
Did I save it? Yeah, I saved it. Yeah, you can do where I find it.
Okay, so short synopsis. Somebody's dumb daughter got online and said if your man cannot provide a $1,000 first date,
Here it is.
then he's not worth your time. That $1,000 first date included this stranger you have never met, paying for your daycare, basically paying for your kids to eat, sending an SUV Uber, which I'm not sure why that was emphasized, but it was several times, an SUV Uber to pick you up. Before that, money for you to buy an outfit to go on said date.
Yeah, you forgot the outfit. Yeah, the outfit's on there.
An outfit to go on said date. The SUV Uber to bring you to the date.
The dinner.
All the dinner, the appetizers, all the drinks, definitely a bottle.
Rounds of shots.
A whole section at the lounge.
In between drinks.
Yeah, rounds of shots between the drinks. Going to a lounge bar setting.
A bottle.
Buy the whole section.
How much alcohol are you drinking on the first date?
A bottle at least for the section. The SUV Uber home. And money for her to put in her pocket.
Extra cash, yes.
Just in case.
On the first date.
On the first date. On the first date, you don't even know my last name.
Okay. To counter that, a woman who posted this said, if a man spends $1,000 on her on a date, she's going to leave him alone because she just feels like he can't manage his money. And I understand why a lot of men think that we're exhausting. Because you have two sides.
Very polarized.
Like, what? Like, how do you, okay, thoughts on the first date?
Yeah, I'd actually go with the second poster because I'm going to judge how you spend your money. Because, like, the first date really doesn't matter because first impressions stick with you. Mm-hmm. And I feel like if you're blowing money, even if you make that money right back, but if you're blowing it, that means that there's a chance that you know, you don't have some financial stability, or you don't practice prudence, and that's not prudent to spend that much money on somebody on the first date unless it was arranged by a third-party company. And you were there
For the AAVE crowd, that means weird flex, but okay.
I figure if you're dating within a certain tax bracket, then $1,000 is probably not a lot. But assuming, I'm going to assume that the girl who wants to Uber is not within a certain tax bracket, or she would have no problem getting her own Uber. I personally, on first dates, would like to do as much myself as possible because dudes be weird, and you don't know on a first date, like, really what expectations he sets, and men can feel entitled to you, to your body, depending on what that price tag is. So, for me personally, please don't. But again, if you're like...
Because there's dudes who will feel entitled to you for a Happy Meal.
Well, of course. But $1,000 might put a little razzle dazzle on that.
Shout out to Ryan Keys. So,
I mean,
now I've dated in more upper echelon brackets, and there are some situations where the meal has been known to be upwards of what you would normally expect. And I'm not talking like Ruth Chris. I'm talking like to walk into the door, you pretty much have to have a black card, which is fine.
I have not had that experience.
One time, all you need. But also not married though, so that should say a lot. Just because the money's there, one, doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to consistently be spent on you. Doesn't necessarily mean that he's going to have it for the second, third, fourth, or fifth date. And it may very well mean that he just got his stimmy and he's trying to turn up for tonight.
That is actually a thing. A friend who shall remain nameless, a gentleman said, they're about to get my stimmy back, let's blow it and go on a vacation. So that is a real thing, tricking with the stimmy.
Tricking with the stimmy. That's the new hashtag. Hashtag tricking with the stimmy.
Well, they say it ain't tricking if you got it. So.
You ain't got it. The government gave it to you. That's welfare.
It's going to be gone.
You know, I kind of get my feelings this time of year because, like, I like seafood, but there's never any. When people, you know, get their hands on these coins. Where some
like
of us,
Valentine's Day,
right,
and there's
some of
no
us can
Alfredo
buy
sauce
seafood on a
in
soft
any of the grocery
Tuesday.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
I'm sorry.
You know, it annoys me because, like, all the good weed is gone. Like, everything you think of that you need for just a regular day, like me. It's a regular day.
We're allowed to say it because
Right.
we're not white women.
Exactly, because, you know, I just, like, my flex is I don't flex. So it's like...
You can
you know
have
what I'm
crab
saying?
legs again in, like,
Right,
July.
right, about right around there. And then I'll probably have to go to the East Coast
It's going to be a while.
it.
Just go to Baltimore or something.
And DoorDash, they all just run out of delivery drivers and everything.
If you've never been to Baltimore and had seafood, you are doing yourself a disservice. What we have here is not that.
You will get aggravated talking to the people.
That's accurate. I went about a year ago and instantly knew it was time to go.
I love y'all. Forestville, I love y'all, but that Be More accent. That's it.
Okay. It's your turn.
Good.
What was number 7? Was the last one?
Yeah, I did 7.
She did 7. So if you're just tuning in, I have an index card with topics on it that I wrote down. And they have no idea what we're talking about on this group chat episode, which is like an actual group chat, because it might be 2 in the morning and then somebody will put the most random thing in there. Like, look, I got my nipples pierced, and then there's like titties in your group chat.
Yeah,
that's how it really works.
I lost weight. Look,
or it was me, like, I'm tired of these kids.
Right, exactly.
It could be anything. So that's what this card represents.
TK's wife.
That's also one of them on here. Okay,
I'm sure.
Pick a number.
So she did 7, 11.
Oh, okay. So this one, there's an article going around with Carrie Hilson where she says that she and her husband live in separate houses, completely separate addresses. Um, the internet is split on this. Who would like to go first?
Why?
For they just taking the she shed and the man cave to a whole nother level.
I just feel like if you cannot function and cohabitate, and then you can't get upset and trust issues get created.
Absolutely.
And I feel like, just like you feel like you might need some space, I need some too. So we're gonna create you a space in this crib. We're gonna build something on it, and it's not even about codependence
all day.
Anybody in the audience for this? Okay. There's no hard yes.
I mean, no.
It's completely separate. I mean, maybe he lives across the street. Or no, why can't you just?
Because that means that the whole next door got access to the bedroom window. No, thank you.
And if you're someone who has money, can't you just like build something in the back? You know,
give him a Stedman home.
The attic.
Give him a Stedman home in the back if it's that bad.
The basement, like.
But then again, Carrie Hilson's not getting that Grammy money, so.
The pantry. Don't be talking about Carrie because I'm saying, and she should, because the Grammy money, and I could do a whole segment on her and why what happened to her is bullshit. But I digress. I'm getting this started. Okay, so that's a no on separate houses. I get it, but I think it is.
I don't even get it.
I do. People like. In the year 2021, people have vast opinions on accommodating partner, and it's real. Like,
but at the point where you get together with God, Jesus, Buddha, Tula, whoever you got to go in front of, and say "I do" in front of your family, your mama, your daddy, your cousins, and several other family members you don't even claim on the streets. At that point, y'all can't live together. Y'all don't need to go through all that.
But they didn't say that they didn't like each other. Like they like each other, but they think they want to keep liking each other.
So do they have like because then this leads to further questions for me. If we live separately, so if this is your house and this is my house, I can't just decide I'm gonna go jump on you because you at your house.
And I got to travel.
So if I gotta schedule my sex dates, I don't want to be married to you because that's absolutely not okay. I'm not scheduling sex when I'm married.
It's weird. It's weird, and
it's really weird.
If you have kids, like
who do the babies live with? Because I don't want them to live with me.
They're gonna be over there. I don't want them at this house, so they're gonna be your house.
Because I got a gang of boys, and frankly, they can all go over there. If this is a separate house option,
now you're thinking about it. Like, wait.
But then I would still have to schedule my sex, and ultimately, that's more important.
It is because kids do go to sleep.
Right. I mean, and then depending on how y'all get down, kids go upstairs.
But there will be no pee on the floor. And your bathroom could be just like
you got a toddler
in your room. Your decor will stay where you put it, and
not the way I have sex.
There will be. You focus on the sex.
I'm extremely focused on the sex
for sexual reasons.
Healthy sex is a very important part of a healthy marriage
relationship.
Okay, because I would hate to be that person who said I'm gonna wait till marriage. And then get married and find out that my husband is built like this.
There's also an article about that right now. A lady said she did wait till marriage, and it's awful.
Oh. Divorced.
Really? But you try to like...
No.
This is not on you.
Okay, so unless he is willing... Because, okay, look. I'm a visual aid, y'all. There are toys at Lion's Den that are built to go over a man's... around here to go over a man's penis that he can just slide right upon his peen and go from being bred to taekwondo in his grandmama's house.
It might be, but that's assuming it's a size.
I was about to say, what if it's not a size issue?
If it's not a size issue, tell him to work his jawbone.
Also, What if she just is inexperienced sexually and she doesn't even really like? I mean, of course, something feels good, but what if it takes a while to really figure out what you like?
Stuff I thought that felt good the first couple of times does not feel good.
Right. So I don't necessarily think automatically divorce, but they should definitely do some exploration
on the table.
Maybe call a sexpert in.
I'll show up for $5.95 an hour, and that's before
$500.
Okay. That's before the period. Yeah, $5.95 an hour. Okay. I'll fix y'all up.
I think it could possibly be a savable thing, but
it could be.
It depends on how receptive he is to feedback, because not all men are receptive to feedback in the bedroom or couch.
That is a terrible thing to find out once you're married. That not only does he suck at it, he's a terrible listener. He doesn't want to maybe talk about it. Babe, your peen sucks. Cute. And then, now we fight. And, I feel like we're still going back to divorce.
I forgot to do it. Valerie's here. We watched every episode. That is the thing. Okay, Valerie is here.
What was
I can't hear what you were saying.
What was the Valerieism for tonight?
Go to sex therapy.
Go to sex therapy. That's a thing.
Sex therapy. Sex therapy is a thing. Sex therapy can be a wonderful thing.
Why do I have 3 drinks?
If you are, sex therapy can be a wonderful thing if both partners are receptive. But that's with all therapies that require couples. You have to be receptive. You have to go with an open mind that says, "I'm willing to do the work." Otherwise, you're wasting their time, our time, my time, and some money. None of which I feel like spending if you're not going to do anything to get better.
Amen. All right. Go to sex therapy, lady whose husband is whack.
Also, go to Lions Den. I'll meet you there.
Go to Lions Den. Wherever you are in the country. I didn't actually read that part. All right, Alicia, it is your turn to pick a number.
5.
5. Did you look at the card?
No.
Oh, okay.
Not yet.
Kirk Franklin.
Child, let's go. I was born ready.
That is the whole thing. Okay. That's all I wrote down was Kirk Franklin. Well, let her go because you picked the number.
So, okay. It's layers to that situation.
Yeah,
so many.
Because if you want to talk about the layer of trying to tell someone else how to parent, okay, that's
for all parents at this time.
Yeah, no, I'm good. You're not about to ever tell me how to parent, right? Mm-hmm. And so, unless you're bringing a solution and it's feasible, that's a conversation, right? Mm-hmm. But in this situation, we're legitimately telling this man how to parent, right? 2, there is a level of trauma on both ends, right? Because he and Kirk, apparently this is a volatile relationship that has been going on for a long time, because he was the first baby before the marriage, and then,
so then separate
right, so he got it's separate layers to that. Mm-hmm. 3rd, you talk about 2 grown men disrespecting each other, whether they father or son, disrespectful, right? Mm-hmm. Newton, every action has an equal reaction.
Every right hand has a left.
Yeah, so you got that. I think the one that's the most pressing is when you think of narcissistic abuse and parenting, as well as, just to be completely frank, generational trauma. That's really what it is. You just kind of, and church abuse.
Church hurt.
And that's that on that. I mean, there's a level there, because I think Kirk did the apology because of church abuse, right? And everybody's like, we want to do, they do so many things in private. Let me help y'all out. You talking to somebody that's been in the church, that had issues with my own identity because of the church, everything because of the church. And I'm not against the church at all. It's just, I know when I made my decision that I wasn't going to actively practice religion, ironically, I became a better person. And so, with that being said, because I'm not reproducing this traumatic judging and everything else, but so that's my issue with the Kirk Franklin thing. And like I said, it's just so many layers. But I think the biggest thing right now is that all the judgment that's coming toward him is due to this church stuff. Because FYI, we've been laughing at the Proud Family, every other TV show, they talk to their kids like that, and South Central while drinking your juice and everything else for years. But just because Silver and Gold got up there and showed y'all the reason why he was singing, and he had enough, and was no more lovely daddy. He laid it on his son, and now we got a problem.
Because of who it was. It was
right.
Like,
but see, then my problem with that is because of who it was, this big deal is being made.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? So, matter of fact, when 50 Cent teed off on his kid.
Sure did.
Okay, that's 50 Cent. The problem is that those people who are so, oh my gosh, Kirk Franklin have not taken into account that they, as church people, have put him up on a pedestal. Therefore, he is their idol, and they are failing in their own religion.
Mm-hmm.
And his son is grown as hell. He's a 33-year-old man.
Right.
Okay, thoughts.
Here's the thing.
But the inverse of that. He's a 33-year-old man with that son, and there's another side of church people who they weren't offended. If anything, they justified it. And as far as shows like Proud Family and South Central and Church,
I was coming to that. Absolutely.
That justify it. It ain't no secret that a part of coping with traumatic abusive tropes for Black folks is laughing at it. That's not that ain't new either. Now that doesn't make it okay. That's just it's a cultural norm and nuance. So for a lot of people, Kirk represented.
Valerie needs a chair.
Kirk represented their pastors. Yeah. Kirk represented their daddies and their mamas. And Kirk did for a lot of people. Kirk represented the I experienced insert war story here, and I turned out okay. But are you? Like
exactly.
But are you?
But are you?
I did not grow up in a household where my parents cussed at me. Never happened, like, at all. And I don't cuss at my children. In my head.
In this dome.
That I know would be traumatic if I went there. But I am a grown-ass woman, and I have control over what comes out of my mouth. That being said, I can imagine my daughter, who's 13 now, being 33, is saying some wild shit to me, and like,
gang.
coming out. I'm like, you want to know what? Like, I can see how a parent would get there. Now, when I listened to just a little part of the clip, it's not much anyway, and my first thought was, well, what was the rest of the conversation?
Exactly.
Is this their normal relationship? Is this like the dynamic all the time? Or did he just really say some wild stuff and Kurt lost it? We don't know, which is the point. We always have a little bit of information, and then the internet goes wild as if they were there. Like, were you there?
But Kirk said that the family counselor came in right after that part, and they worked it out, but the son still posted that.
Which leads me then to believe
dynamics. We don't know as a just.
I think the boy posted it because of whoever it was on Kirk's side busted out laughing.
His son knew what the hell that was going to do when he posted it.
He knew who that daddy is. What that comes down to, you have to look into account.
Was the son fed up?
PK trauma is a whole different level of church trauma.
Listen.
Okay?
But two things can be true at once.
Yes,
exactly.
Balance. That's what it's called, balance.
So it's not to say that is Kirk a perfect parent? Absolutely not. But last I checked, my kids didn't come with a how-to book. My first word, one of my kids' first word literally was shit. Okay, mind your business. It happens. All right. So I had to learn because I was a young mom. I had to learn, what I do and say affects my children to potentially a permanent basis.
Yeah.
And thankfully, because I have a kid who was a minor bird, I learned that early before, too much went south. But to that same vein, he is a grown man. Because he is 33, he has been an adult about the same amount of time he was a child now.
Yep.
So then it becomes, what have you done as an adult to heal yourself?
You must consider also the way that men mature. Like 33 in girl years is not the same in traumatized 33-year-old man years, especially young black men who don't go to therapy. Like, will look at you like you're crazy for even suggesting such a thing. So they are just walking around here with all this shit in their heads, in their hearts, with all this like pinned up everything. So, I mean, we don't know exactly where he is in his 33-year journey. Because as women, we're like, okay, at 33, you should kind of, boom, boom, boom. But as women who have dated 33-year-old men at some point, we also know, like,
I just roll my eyes down, just know.
It is a long journey. Their 33 is not our 33. And even they will tell you that.
I dated a man who was 33.
He was 33 or something.
I was 33, didn't mean he was.
Well, your husband is older than you. One of the best statuses I saw about this subject was from Trip Fontaine. Shout out to Trip. And he said, both Kurt Franklin and his son could be wrong. Like, they could both be wrong.
Duality is a thing.
And that was that.
Yeah.
Without actually being a part of that family and being there and knowing what happened from his birth, that's 33 years that we saw or heard, 10 seconds of it?
Right.
Imagine if somebody took the worst 10 seconds of your parenting and put it on the internet. I'm like, woo.
Now, I was of the school of children whose mother actually said, I brought you into this world and I'll take you out. And I, for one, if you've ever met my mother before she passed, God rest her soul, I believed her. Now, do I like to say that, I'm okay despite what my mother did? Therapy.
Touche.
Therapy. And not even just because of my mother, but just for me.
Yeah.
I'm not even going to put everything that I had to go through therapy for on my mom because that's absolutely not the case.
Right.
I needed therapy to heal me from sometimes my own self-inflicted trauma.
And there you go. That's why in my therapy process, I started with fixing my woman first, and then we working on my little girl.
Right.
Because those are two different people. You know what I'm saying? And I feel
little girl.
Because that little girl, yeah, she kind of nudges the grown woman like, do that.
But
that grown woman really needs to be healed because she's ultimately the one making the decisions and protecting the little girl. And I just find that, like people who say, oh, you should start counseling with the other way. I'm like, no, because honestly, you're going to be in counseling longer because it's almost impossible to fix that little girl. You got to have some coping mechanism in your grown woman for that little girl to make some sense. Mm-hmm. And that's just that on that.
Yeah.
And that's on Mary's land. So there's nothing else like that.
All right, wait, it's your turn?
Yeah. Yes.
I knew Kurt was going to take one. Okay. Layers. Okay. Ready? Let's go. Pick a number. 3. No. I'm going to let Valerie pick a number. No, these ladies pick a number. Gotta pick a number. Okay, Valerie, pick a number 1 to 12.
I feel slighted. I don't.
7, 11, 5. I think.
We already did 7, 11, 5.
Oh, let's keep with the odd numbers. 9.
Why do you
How I found out he was cheating.
Oh, me.
Wait, somebody else gotta go first.
Me.
Somebody else gotta go first. Somebody else gotta go first.
I want to chime in.
Okay. I know this is going to be a good story.
How I found out he was cheating? Wait. Now, mind you, the views expressed in this opinion have
please, somebody give it, please, because some people been wanting to know, and I don't know.
No, but if we're being honest, no. Before I share this, please understand this has nothing to do with my husband now.
No, it does not.
My last name as it stands.
No, he did it.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
We don't even got to say who did it.
Yeah.
It's just about the story. He is like abstract.
We just gonna say he was a Gemini. And leave that.
I've never dated one of those.
Girl, don't.
Is it ghetto?
It's very ghetto. 0 stars. Would not recommend.
Okay.
Would not recommend.
How did you find out?
I came home.
What? Child, can we ask the next question, please? No. Sis.
But wait.
Oh my.
I came home. My kids were already home.
That's some lights.
Now we can go on.
Did everybody get cut? Knowing you, something happened to somebody.
I lost it too. due to
the kids was there.
Still standing. No, they got. I sent them across the street to the neighbors. Before.
They was there when you got there.
Yeah,
that's ashy.
Extremely. Mommy lost a tooth, and due to an NDA that stands, we won't say what he lost, but needless to say, he's still coming up short.
It could have been his life. Because really, my kids in the house.
Death is quick. You don't kill. Death is quick and comes with a long-term sentence.
Not necessarily.
Torture can go on for the rest of your life, especially when you attack that credit score.
I came home.
It's like, I don't even know. I don't know. I don't think it's I don't know if I want to answer this because like,
it has to be the first person you saw that.
But see, this is the thing. You and I have been friends for like 20 years. I don't get in relationships. Right, and so when you think of that, if I tell the story, everybody know what I'm talking about.
I mean,
I can share it.
So, is this going to be your PR?
You can.
No, I'm not. You know what? I'm not gonna. It's my story.
It is your story,
and I've grown from that. So, Facebook.
Wow.
Facebook. Yeah, the extra marital situation. I mean, the extra person had published a note about it and tagged my former relationship person in it. And I read it even down to describing how they were discovered.
Did they? Okay.
And I was like,
so was the note like, that Facebook you could write notes?
Yeah, it was Facebook notes. Right, the old Facebook notes where you
post your story. I used to post stories. Did they post it as a story?
Yeah, they posted it as a story, like they were in a therapy session with their therapist. And
tagged you?
Yeah.
I would still be pulling out host toe every day. Thursday at 3 o'clock.
There's a Facebook group now, and it has original chapters of Facebook.
Yes.
Called "Is This Your Man?"
Yeah.
I wasn't in that group, but I've heard lots about it.
I don't need that.
I need that. Her son's dad was in. Is this your man? Oh God!
There was another man asking if that was fun.
Okay, you can't see her, but the sis, is this your man? Group.
She wins.
Her man was in the group, and it was a man who's like, "Is this your man?"
To that effect, you have my deepest sympathy.
My sister does because she started dating him.
It's so that's heavy. That's heavy. Like I'm not. Yeah.
I get why the group is messy. It was created to be messy. I don't think anybody created that.
Are we just going to bypass that segue?
No, I'm gonna let you process. So if you are someone who's tagging people in this is this your man group? Like you messy. You were trying. Like that's traumatizing.
And especially since people actually have ulterior motives. Like the movie Obsessed is a primal example.
Yes.
Women do create relationships in their mind to ensure that they get said person.
Or man.
Or,
we have
bear,
all the
cat, dog, whatever.
Show you they have whole conversations in their head.
Like, wait, what happened? Oh, how did I find out? His sister told me.
Damn.
Like, when you be dropping him off over there at that gas station, well, he be going to buy his rap, so he go smoke with this bitch. Has he been cheating the whole time y'all been together?
So was she telling you this?
She hated me. To her, she hates me now. Yes. Years later, I ran into her at Dollar General, and she tearfully apologized about how horrible she was to me because she felt like she was being a good big little sister by covering for him.
She didn't. She knew he was messy.
But also, after years of family trauma and him being crazy as fuck, she realized that I probably went through a lot of shit and that he was awful. And she was so sorry that she told me the way that she told me, like in a bitchy way, not in a helpful way, that I had been dropping this dude off.
So basically, she
thinking he
goes back
was going
her
to
brother
his
was crazy.
homie's house, but actually, so right there on Broad and Yearling, there's a gas station, and there's apartments behind there. There's some apartments behind the gas station. He was my ass, but he's not part of my life. So the girl lived in the apartment, and her name was Samantha. I don't know her last name. This was many years ago. Samantha, clarify. This is my 20s.
Like
my first relationship. Her name was Samantha. My cousin had a baby. I named her Samantha, like in the midst of this. And I was like, I ain't going to the hospital to see that baby.
Trauma.
Samantha is now gorgeous. And that was traumatic. How embarrassing.
Is that why you laugh when we turned down that street?
I mean, memories. Because I had I was very young. So, context, my first relationship, I met him, I was 16. We broke up when I was 24.
Wow.
So, I hadn't experienced no one other than this person. So, to be dropping him off, just like, okay, babe.
At that point, y'all was kind of lost.
Oh, yeah. And then to find out, I've been dropping you off at the girl's house because you a bum and you don't have no car, no job. That was my fault. But I was young. I was in love. We could talk about how people tell you.
Was he a Gemini?
Libra.
He was a Gemini at heart.
How when we're young, as
girls.
Right
in the Gemini area.
Right. Right, Gemini. Samantha was probably a Gemini. But as a young girl, and then they teach how to be there for your man and ride or die, and just don't let nobody put their hands on you. Nobody teaches you about emotional abuse.
I am not a ride or die chick.
I'm not now.
I got questions.
But 18-year-old me thought that was the way.
I need to know things. Where we going? What time we coming home?
He said that was his friend's house.
Right, because
can we grab something to eat on the way?
I'm one of those people that's like, until you prove you a liar, I have to trust that you telling the truth.
I didn't know better. I was a baby.
I get that. And I'm saying, as somebody who has learned from it, I am definitely not a rider back.
No, hell no. Ride where? Why are we dying?
Why are we riding? Why can't they just come here?
I choose life.
I ain't gotta go to the movies. I got all the streaming services.
No, I don't want to.
We ain't gotta go nowhere. Amazon delivers everything.
Trauma. Okay. I hope one of y'all pick a more pleasant number this time.
Yeah, we need some even numbers.
I think we need to
get Okay. Well, Cardi and Meg at the Grammys.
Now.
Okay, wait a minute. Let me finish. Okay, so the internet is, doing what it does.
Polarizing.
Split in a debate about what women and empowerment really means for women. And if y'all don't stop posting that Pepe Le Pew / Cardi Meg meme, that shit is stupid. First of all,
these things are not the same.
It's a cartoon that is marketed for children. Okay. If the WAP video comes on, it's not for your kids. This is not the same thing. Okay? That meme is stupid. Whoever made it is stupid. That's that on that. Okay. But did you see the performance?
I saw the performance.
I did.
And it was a part I wasn't ready for.
Kids, I always watched the Grammys growing up, and there was
Trevor Noah gave a disclaimer. I'm just saying. If you were that concerned, you could have turned.
As a parent, if I see Cardi and Meg are performing, the channel is going to be turned until they're done doing what they do.
Yeah.
That also does not mean that they should be bumping coochies.
Yeah.
The really.
Look, when I saw that with my fluid self, I was like, wait a minute, hold on, wait a minute.
Even you open-minded as I am,
I'm extremely open-minded, and I was like, that doesn't belong on the television.
What's on right now?
I mean, maybe Cinemax after 10 p.m. maybe.
That's a lot.
Cinemax. But no, just as far as standard, basically daytime, prime time, whatever.
I say this as someone who will post titties on Facebook
all day,
any day of the week.
Sometimes by accident.
I also do not have 12-year-olds as my friends on Facebook and Instagram. I believe that women have complete autonomy over their bodies.
Wow.
Something is happening out there.
And
what they do with it.
Wow. St. Patrick's Day behavior.
St. Patrick's Day is happening on the other side of the camera. We can see it. You can't see it. We can see it. But I believe that women should be able to do whatever they want with their bodies. But I also was like, oh. This is a lot.
It is playing.
Yeah, walk is playing and people are out there walking.
Yes, there's actually at the bar race. So people are saying that this is women's empowerment. Does this empower you?
First of all, I already have full claim and ownership over my own vagina. I don't need help to find that. We good over here. Does Cardi being Cardi make me feel empowered?
Did that?
No. Did the performance make me feel empowered? No. Not at all. Do I care one way or the other what they do? No,
I don't care about none of that. But I think the empowerment thing is because of who they are as people. And I feel like that's where we go wrong, is we always mix up like they're one and the same, right? Your message that you're giving at that specific time isn't necessarily always reflective of what your story is.
If
So
that
we
wasn't
have
a
a
message
distinct,
at all. It was just.
but that's why everybody always calls them empowerment. Because they're looking at them as an icon.
But see, I don't think I got that drip is necessarily empowering.
Time and place.
Time and place.
Everything is time and place. But that's what everybody's always going to see them as being empowering just because of what they're like.
I like both of them.
I do.
But
I will say
they're a good time.
My biggest takeaway on the from the Grammys regarding Meg and Cardi at all was the visible and kind of visceral difference in who they are as adult women now.
I agree.
Because, we have Meg on the other hand who, God bless her, for the Players Club and stripped her way through college. Okay.
Which is fine.
Because she got there. And then Cardi hopped off the pole into a rap career.
Which is also fine.
But when you actually see them interact with people, you can tell the difference as to one who is still stuck in her stripper mind.
Yeah, that is true.
And one who has said it was a tool to get where I wanted.
Okay, and which is which?
I think Meg is a bit more grounded, and Cardi is a bit more in the middle of a pandemic. I bought a Birkin bag. Like, girl, most of your followers is trying to figure out how they gonna eat and take care of their kids. So she's asking people like which Birkin bag she should get. Like, girl, like what? How out of touch can you possibly be?
That either of their lifestyle choices are wrong.
Just buy the bag. It's a pandemic. This was like months ago.
That was dumb.
Like people were on the edge about what was happening and scared, and you were completely disconnected.
Absolutely.
Like, Lord, if I ever went out.
But wasn't this about the same time that Kim Kardashian rented an island?
Well, she's completely,
So celebrity disconnect is a thing.
They could never understand.
But no, all I'm saying
us at all. But Cardi can. Like, she was not always where she is. So if anybody should be able to
because invasion of privacy is
Kim Kardashian used to scrub hair.
One of my favorite covers.
Yeah, but she was still like.
And she had a whole different nose.
On the West Coast.
And she may or may not have been Arabian.
But Cardi was like, in the middle of a pandemic. I'm not gonna be like, should I get the red Birkin? Poor people.
No one can ever deny the profitability of the rag to riches sale.
Oh,
absolutely.
Everybody was the underdog,
Right, and Cardi was the underdog.
Honestly,
she's the only person that's on Love and Hip Hop that's constantly putting out stuff.
She's incredibly successful
on that.
Which I just, remember where you were.
So, full confession here, and y'all, I don't care. Take my black card. I can't even play spades. I don't care. I never watched Love and Hip Hop. I did not know who Cardi was until Bodak Yellow.
I never watched it either.
You want to hear something so funny? When Bodak Yellow first came out, I was like, ugh. And everybody kept telling me, like, that is something that you say to people. Right? So I'm like, really? I'm not listening to the word, right? I grow up, right, getting to my full woman, right? I'm like, I'm listening to her one day. I'm like, wait a minute, yes. Like, I make money move.
Time and place.
I'm a boss, you a worker. I say that too often to folks because that's sometimes they don't like it.
At first, I was like, she sounds like she's reading it in the studio. Like they have like a screen with the lyrics on it.
I think that's giving her a lot of credit.
She's reading it. That's what I thought.
No,
then she grew on me.
Prove that differently, because there is no way when she was doing Up, the automatopoeia in that sucker. There is no way, sis memorized that. She's down by the seashore. It's Up, okay?
But it's not she ain't dumb. She just dense.
Yeah.
And that's
she is dense.
She's not a.
But when she starts talking
she's
about
not
politics,
unintelligent.
she's
she's really good. She's an expert in American history. Girl can break down how the government votes and everything.
She talked to Bernie
She
and all
does. Yeah, it's pretty
she's
impressive.
very, very well versed in that.
because she's famous.
Because she's got a peacock on her butt.
And he's Bernie.
Why do old white men talk to anybody?
And he's Bernie.
He's Bernie. He talks to us, But I will never take away like a woman's intelligence, even if it's in sections. But when it comes to that, she was on point. She just was. But the Birkin bag thing and the pandemic, not on point. But
the basically, and then the basically trimming on the Grammys.
That was a bit much.
That was a lot. And that was not, I don't think that was empowering.
If you don't know what trimming is, look it up. Have a field day. Maybe you set up an incognito page first before.
Vocabulary word for tonight's solo show. Google it.
That's my PR.
Don't Google it. Just pull up an incognito web browser first.
Tapping out.
And then Google it.
Moving along. Let's see. Right over here. It's your turn to pick a number. Wait, did you pick a number?
I picked 2.
2? You're going to tap this one out. Okay, this is in the sex category. A man said, women who masturbate are better in bed than women who don't.
Know thyself to show thyself approved.
Come on,
But there could be a level. I think the concern is desensitizing.
Well,
too much.
Yeah.
First of all, how long are you masturbating? Why is your vibrator that high?
Wait. Okay.
Why didn't you take your nails off?
What?
Wait, prior to all of those things, I just realized what you said. Why is this man mansplaining my vagina?
Because he has sex with women, so he can compare women who don't.
I'll have sex with men. I'm not going to tell you that your dick curve wrong, curve to the left.
Pause.
Okay.
Pause. Okay. There are women who do not touch themselves at all. You go.
I get emotional.
There are women who do not explore their own bodies, right? And there are women who explore them a lot. And so I'm assuming that this man has had sex.
I'm assuming that he's never had a relationship
with both, and he has determined that women who know their bodies are better in bed, which kind of makes sense to me.
It does, because they're gonna tell. But he also one of those people that he one of them kids that had the cheat code on the video. He memorized up, down, A, B, C.
But if we do it right, up, down, left, right, up, down, A, B, can be a thing.
Right, because the Inkwell said it's like a string when you click it.
Thank you. I'm not a man, so I don't know, but I wrote it down because I thought it was. I can't answer. I don't know.
What to do if you don't know what to
Correct.
do.
I do think as a woman, knowing your body and exploring your body makes sex better.
I mean, but I also don't have to be able to scratch
accordingly.
my own back to tell you how to get my itch.
I don't know, man.
And I say this as a woman who is totally comfortable with her own level of masturbation. I don't necessarily be able to scratch my back to tell you that I have an itch right here.
Nor do I. Even if I don't know how to get to it, I can tell you when you're not. Like
right.
It's like we don't know what to eat, but we don't want.
Yeah. I don't know how to change the tire to tell you that yours is flat.
The metaphors that are happening right now.
Like I'm very good at, even when I'm yet figuring out what I like, I'm good at
I know it ain't that.
what I don't like.
Right. I know it's not that right
there.
Yeah.
I don't like teeth. Put those away.
That's an awful thing. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
When we say eat the cat, we do not mean chew it up. We need that for later.
Or nipples. Like,
nobody wants mild.
Don't take them with you. Like, you can't, like, leave them there.
Where is this go?
I don't know.
Next number.
You're like, what? Somebody pull up a new number because I can keep going the rest of the night with this one alone.
It's your turn.
Oh, wait, Valerie. Valerie picked a number. Molly, pick a number.
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, shit. Did anybody pick 12?
No.
What was good? 12.
What? I have a number 12?
You said one 12.
Oh. All right, this is another cheating one. Oh, do we want to do that?
Yes.
Okay.
Let me get ready.
It says most men cheat because most are not with the woman they really want.
Most men cheat because they choose to. Most women cheat because they choose to.
Everything's a choice. Everything's a choice. And to me, it's really about self-discipline.
Absolutely.
And because I feel like I go through like a stage. If I feel like I'm lacking somewhere, the absolute complete last destination is going to be cheating. Because when I start cheating, that means I've changed my character, right? This
And they don't have
my
something you don't want to.
Right. And so in my in my process, I start with me. What's empty in me?
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean? Doing that self-inventory. That's that. You know, asking those questions. What are the holes in me? And then have that conversation. And then what you want to do. Then after that, sometimes it could be, I need to give myself more self-care. Or I need to spend more time with my friends.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Or sometimes you don't even know what you want. So you just got to kind of figure it out. But cheating, it's always a choice. And like, we love talking about the den of deception. And we sitting in the middle, cross-legged, Indian style, rocking back and forth. Okay?
Singing.
So, that's all I got.
Okay.
So do you think people cheat emotionally first or physically first?
Definitely emotionally.
It depends on their whole level.
I think if you're going statistically, good point. But I think statistically, women
Emotional.
cheat emotionally first. Men cheat physically, and they never build an emotional bond anyway.
Because they could be totally in
However,
love with somebody and still have sex with somebody.
there are 100% men who cheat emotionally.
Mm-hmm.
Just like there are women whose whole bag is strong, has a whole leather strap and reinforced rivets.
While it is a choice, we make choices for reasons. Now, reasons are not excuses.
Right.
Right.
Like excuses. Just
You
you
can
have
come up, you
reasons.
can make some reasons up in your head.
You know what I'm saying?
To justify doing
Reasons.
I mean, there are those who cheat though because, well, she's fat today. Nigga, she is 7.5 months pregnant. You put that there.
Some people are hoes.
Some people are just hoes.
Some people are just
And
hoes.
there are also people who are a different level of insatiability because they don't understand the importance and the wisdom in being content.
Yes.
Right.
I mean, just because you see it and you want it don't mean you need to have it. And
Those are the
because,
kids whose mama told them not touch nothing in the store and they got popped on the way out.
yep.
Some people play with monogamy knowing that they hoes.
Some people go around the neighborhood like Monopoly.
Some people do their reason is the reason on the car because they went with the safe choice and not the best choice. Like safe.
Listen, so a lot of men, and I have a lot of male friends, right? And some of them are bored to death with the people that they selected, right?
Leave.
And then they meet somebody who's exciting,
That's what I'm saying.
but then they don't leave because just like a woman, and we get in a relationship and we got like kids and bills and all this stuff, and we do love the person. You
I'm
can
gonna
love
tell
somebody
you right
before.
now, I'm not gonna be your
I'm
peace,
gonna
but
leave.
I'll be damned if I'm gonna be your boredom.
But people do, a lot of men do that. They pick safe or what she gives them, the security without the
then,
excitement,
too,
and they want the excitement.
Excitement
And
is
they
still
still
always
The goalpost moves on excitement. A lot of people are actual. Some people, y'all talk about food gluttons. I think they're more excitement gluttons than anything.
Stimulation.
And like stimulation
If it's
gluttons.
new,
They just
then
go
I
above
want
and
it
beyond.
now. It's that same kid who says, "Oh, this is mine. I want it. It's mine now, and no one can have it. But now that I have it, I don't want it.
Right. But I do want it, but I also want that.
I want it as long as nobody. I want it as long as everybody else wants it.
Right.
But now that I have it, I don't want it because no one else wants it anymore."
The first ones are the ones that'll cheat, and then when the woman or man, whoever cheated, the one who's getting cheated on walks away,
And the one who did the cheating said, but you
I'm
can't leave.
sorry. I'll never.
I don't want to be
again.
I didn't mean it.
But I need you because relationships are an exchange, and I say this all the time. Whether it's toxic or it's healthy, if you are interacting with somebody, and really in any way, friendship, romantically, there's an exchange. You're getting something out of it, or you would be done with it. Like, even if it's the worst shit ever, when you like, maybe your girl, your dude, your friend is talking to you, and you're like, if they that bad, like, what? Just leave. Well, just leave. But they don't, because there's still something that there's still some kind of exchange going on there.
I mean,
so
if you want to go with Barbara, because Barbara throw it in a circle every Tuesday at 7, that's fine. And you want to stay with Sandy because I have to use these names because my kids swear that I always use ratchet names. So I'm trying to be a little bit more friendly.
Barbara.
Hey, Aqua Shanetta is a real chick. Okay. But
I'm sure there's a Barbara.
If Barbara throws it in the circle every Tuesday at 7 for you, that's fine. But if you want to stay with Susie, because Susie makes some dope ass 7-grain pancakes, fine. Maybe show Susie a porno where somebody throwing it in a circle. Tell her you like that.
Give Susie a chance.
And not even just that, it's that old thin line between love and hate line. Where the club owner had that conversation with Martin and he said, ain't nothing worth what I got with Shirley. And he meant that.
It's so many things.
I didn't realize how much of a schoolboy that movie. Not that I'm grown, that movie's not. It's ridiculous now. But when I was a kid, it was. Bobby Brown was funny though, right? But like he was like, what I got with Shirley. He said, Shirley. He said, you see all these girls up in Chocolate City. He's like, I sure do, but they ain't worth what I got at home with Shirley. And that's real. Yeah. Because that's really what we want in a partner is for them to be like, oh yeah, I can see all this stuff, but it ain't worth what I got at home. I
want a partner who loves me and respects me behind my back.
Yes.
And that's it. If you can't do that, you're going to cheat anyway. And honestly, some people talk a good game. There might be the one who loves you and respects you behind your back and is still going to go eat out Thomas in the cabinet.
Commercial break. In 2 weeks, March 31st on the next Sodo Show, we will have Columbus's one and only all-black improv group. Affirmative Distraction will be here to provide the laughs and probably make me play games I don't want to play because they like to do that. So the crew is coming. So I just wanted you all to know that. And back to our program here. Yeah. I think we have time for...
Just pick the worst ones.
Let me see. I'm going to just pick one.
I actually haven't tapped out as much as I thought. I just answered and stepped out.
You did great, right? Okay.
I'm proud of you.
Okay. Well, and with COVID parenting, how's that going? Challenges. We're a year into this thing of
my kids have been in the house for 1,174 days.
What has been the most challenging thing?
They have roughly eaten $1,700,638 worth of food.
That's the one.
Just this week, not in the 1,000 days, just this week.
My 16-year-old has showered at least 23 times today, and I have a water bill.
I'm afraid because like I bought a house like literally like 3 months before COVID, so I don't even really know what my bills are, right? Because I'm accustomed to paying COVID fees, right? Because like you said, all the food and the showering, the electricity. It got to my bill did decrease. My 14-year-old child, okay, I have a 14-year-old, a 12-year-old, and a 4-year-old. My 14-year-old child walks around the house and tells everybody, we have nothing. We have nothing. We own nothing. We can give nothing. Mom pays all these bills. You cut off that light. She walks around and cut off every light. When the sun comes out, she opens up every blind. That's your light. That's all they got.
Hey man,
for months.
Can
My baby, when I got an $80 electricity bill, which is astronomically amazing,
that's beautiful.
because
That's a beautiful number.
like I said, I'm not gonna say how big my house is, but for an $80 bill on that size house is impressive. Because she went above and beyond. Hey, you're not taking no bath, or if you do, only this much hot water. Like, she was on it. I'd give her a kickback.
She's great when she goes out.
Yeah, she knows what she's doing. She's very frugal. And one thing that is very interesting about COVID parenting is that, believe it or not, it wasn't so much parenting. It was it's kind of like learning roommates in a way.
Yes.
Roommates who don't actually pay any bills.
Right, like seriously, your broke best friends. And then after a while, my daughters began to chastise people for their bad COVID decisions. See, people they was like, oh, just stupid. Every time a school would open and then have to close back. See, Mom, that was dumb. Wasn't that?
Yeah.
You know, having those kind of conversations. So it was pretty cool. COVID parenting was hard, especially since I was potty training simultaneously. So
we just
potty, this is bad. Yeah, mine too. I'm in peace. I can sleep so much better. He's potty trained, thank God.
I just want to thank God that my baby is 9. That's all.
Right. No, but I'm
not ours. We have babies back to back.
We got babies back to back. But we have teenage kids too, so that helps.
We both did the gap, and we're like, what?
Yeah.
This is dumb.
My kids are 16, 14, and 9.
Well, mine are.
Clearly, there was a hiccup.
3 and 13. The 13-year-old is doing great with the virtual learning for the most part, except for when she isn't, and I get an email.
Right.
Like, she ain't turned in nothing, and then she goes, I was just working on that.
They were
That's my 12-year-old.
Just working on it.
That's my 12-year-old. Mom, I'm doing that now. No, you haven't done it.
And she was standing next to me, like, getting her hair ready because she's about to shampoo her hair. And then my phone rings, and it's the school. And I'm like, are you supposed to be in class right now where you're doing self-care? And she goes, oh, yeah. Like, you have social studies right now.
But on the other hand, at least she knows how to prioritize self-care.
Prioritize it at 2:35 when you're not in the middle of class. So then the 3-year-old, I post a lot about him, so y'all know what I'm going through. But he's done potty training. So my challenge in COVID in the last 12 months was, so February, I quit my job, right? Like, okay, I'm going to just run so dope. I did it properly, had the money saved up to cover many months of bills. 2 weeks later, the world shut down. I'm like, I'm not sending my baby to daycare. He's going to be home with me. We're going to do preschool, right? I'm going to do preschool. And I'm going to run my business right from home. This is going to be great. However, the amount of engagement is what I found the most challenging, because you have to engage your if you have really small children all day, like feed them, and they might not want to play. Like, they might want to just stare at you, and they might want to sit in your lap while you're making a fire or something. So that's been a challenge for me.
On a Zoom call.
Or on a Zoom call, he's like, hey, I'm Izzy. Get off the room. But that was the most challenging, and has been the most challenging for me, because I feel like I could have got 200% more things done if I wasn't wearing all the hats at the same time. And shout out to his dad, who was phenomenal at the being a dad thing. But we both have shit to do. It is a lot, and he likes his mom. But on the flip side, I think that down the line, I will appreciate how much time I got to spend with him in his little baby years.
Absolutely.
And how close that we will be, and our bond, and all those silly things that we do, and that he has memorized the intro to the show, and like word for word, and he'll say it while I'm working. Things like that.
Yeah, I agree. For me, it prolonged the shell shock of my oldest child being in high school this year.
Yeah.
So yeah, when she go back, she'll be in the 10th grade, and she was a cheerleader for all the seasons and stuff, but it let me spend just a little bit more time with her.
Yeah.
So that I could accept the fact that she is in high school.
So with all of my boys in my house. I am the lone woman.
It's a lot of boys.
Yeah. Now, on one hand, my sons will be very well adjusted to any woman they encounter having hormonal imbalances. I do not hide things from my kids. We are very open. We have a very open door policy. If you have a question, ask it. I will answer it. And then we will talk about why you asked that question. But I think if I had to pick a benefit from COVID parenting right now, it would be how much more I got to learn about my kids beyond myself.
Yes, I agree.
I got to learn my kids' personalities, like really outside of, that's my son and he does this.
The talking on the phone to the friends thing, and you like, I would have never paid attention to that conversation.
Yeah.
I learned how woke my daughter is.
Oh my God, right?
Yeah.
I talk so much junk about my oldest because he's a little silly. Mm-hmm. But he has so much common sense. And on top of that, so much self-respect and self-awareness that I don't think I would have otherwise been privy to.
There's so much going on.
Yeah. I wouldn't necessarily be privy to it.
I met more of my kids' friends than I had ever met them. And they were more willing to share things about their friends with me.
Yeah.
And I'm okay with that.
Don't send your kids to my house if you don't want their questions answered, because I'll answer them too.
That whole friend thing, you learn about their lives, what they going through COVID, what they, their struggles are. And then my daughter, she's like an advocate for LGBTQA,
your daughter is Angela Davis 2.0.
She is Angela Davis. She's going to
I love her.
A lot. Like on one hand, I'm potty training. On the other hand, I'm helping her pick electives for high school, and she picked like global issues. I'm like, you could pick so many other fun things, and she was like, that was like the first thing on her list. I'm like,
I feel like that would be fun for her though.
Yeah, she's
going to enjoy that.
She's going to be into it. So I feel like I'm doing all right.
Put her in a mock trial team.
On what? Oh my God, I did that in high school, and I interned at a law firm, and we did mock trials, and it was one of the best things I ever did.
Put her in a mock trial team.
We got to go to court, and I was like, I'm actually surprised I didn't go into law, because I thought it was incredible. She would love that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. She would kill that because she is a prime negotiator.
She really worried about that.
I have watched this girl talk her down.
She can get anything. And she doesn't even. Beyonce, shocking news. And she was like.
And Jay-Z got the same award too for a rapper.
She was like, she's a terrible actress. Even then. But she's amazing. And
we've all seen her with Idris Elba. We know
she acted surprised. Like, girl, you knew, because career-oriented women know what the scorecard is, okay? Definitely. We know where we are, especially when it comes to breaking records. We're going to know if we close.
Right, I'm sitting there talking about
She knew when she was getting dressed.
She showed up because she knew she was breaking records that night.
She knew she was going to win, or was really close to it. The odds are in her favor. Because otherwise, why would she be there when there was like 12 people at the Grammys?
Why would you bring Jay-Z out in public with that hair?
But he won the same award that night, though. Yeah, he got most decorated rapper.
All right, so
they're in
Beyonce,
their woke
1, 2,
phase.
3.
They're in their woke phase. We got about 2 more years of
this. This is correct. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you, Alicia. Thank you, Jazmyne, for being here for my first group chat. Keep watching. We'll be swapping out some ladies because perspectives and whatnot. But that's it.
To the So Dope Show.